All right, let's pull back the curtain and talk about the invisible engine that powers, well, pretty much our entire digital world. We're talking about Amazon Web Services, or as you probably know it, AWS.
I mean, really think about it for a second. You fire up Netflix to binge a new series, or you're scrolling through Instagram. Hundreds of millions of people are doing the exact same thing at the exact same time, yet it almost never goes down. How is that even possible?
Well, the answer isn't some kind of dark magic. It's because they aren't running on a single computer tucked away in some office. Nope, they run on the cloud.
And here's the thing. When people say the cloud, a huge amount of the time, they're really talking about one company that dominates the space, Amazon Web Services. AWS is, without a doubt, the backbone of the modern internet. It's the computing power behind so many of the apps and websites you use every single day.
So to really get what makes AWS such a revolution, we got to look back at this huge shift that happened, the move from physical stuff to virtual stuff.
You know, not that long ago, if you wanted to launch a website or an app, you had to physically go out and buy these massive, expensive computers called servers. You'd stick them in a special cold room, and you'd need a whole team of people just to keep them running. It was pricey, it was slow, and honestly, it was super risky.
But the new way, the AWS way, it just flips that whole idea on its head. Instead of buying all that clunky hardware, you just rent it. You rent the computing power you need from Amazon's gigantic worldwide network of data centers. You get a virtual server in the cloud instantly.
And this comparison right here really just says it all. The old way, you had these huge upfront costs. And what if your app suddenly got popular? Good luck trying to buy and set up new servers fast enough. It was a nightmare to scale. With the AWS model, it's pay-as-you-go, kind of like your electricity bill. You can scale up or down in a heartbeat, and because you're using Amazon's incredible infrastructure, it's just way more reliable.
Okay, so how does all this actually work? Well, AWS has literally hundreds of different services, but you can boil almost everything down to 3 core building blocks. Think of them like the essential Lego bricks for building just about anything online. First up is EC2. This is the brains of the whole operation. An EC2 instance is your virtual computer. It's the raw processing power that runs all your code. And the cool part is, you get to decide exactly how powerful you want that brain to be. Need more memory, more processing power? You can get it in seconds, and you can rent 1 or 1,000, whatever you need.
Next, you need a place to put all your stuff, right? That's where S3 comes in. Think of S3 as a limitless digital garage. This is where you store everything. Every photo on Instagram, every movie on Netflix, every document you save, it all lives in something like S3. It's built to be incredibly durable and super cheap.
And finally, you've got RDS, the Relational Database Service. Okay, so if S3 is the garage where you just throw all your files, RDS is like a hyper-organized librarian for your data. This is where things like user accounts, shipping addresses, product catalogs, or even game high scores are kept. It's for any information that you need to find and retrieve instantly and perfectly. RDS handles all that organization for you.
All right, so we've covered the what. Now let's talk about the where, because the true power of AWS is its absolutely massive global footprint.
Just look at this map. Their network is huge. Each one of those glowing dots you see represents a region packed with giant AWS data centers. They aren't just in one country. They are strategically planted all over the planet.
And to put a number on it, we're talking about over 30 of these global regions. And a region isn't just one building either. Each region is actually made up of multiple separate data centers. That's a huge part of what makes AWS so resilient and hard to take down.
So why does any of this matter to you? Well, it's simple. Having all these data centers around the world means that no matter where you are, you're probably connecting to a server that's pretty close by. That cuts down on lag and makes your apps feel super fast and snappy, whether you're in New York, Tokyo, or Sydney.
Okay, we've talked about the building blocks and the global reach, but all of this, it all leads to the single most important, most powerful feature of the cloud, and that is the ability to scale.
This right here is the real game changer. It doesn't matter if you're a tiny startup or a giant company. AWS lets you handle any amount of traffic. Imagine a streaming service drops the next big hit show and their audience multiplies by 10 overnight. They don't panic. They just tell AWS, hey, we need more power, and boom, they get it instantly. This on-demand scalability is why basically everyone trusts AWS.
So yeah, while AWS might seem like this super complex thing, it's really the foundation that our digital future is built on. Its flexibility, its global reach, its incredible power to scale, it's the invisible engine that just makes our modern world work. And you can bet that the next big idea,
The next world-changing app, it's probably going to be built right here in the cloud.